Hey guys, today we're in the book of Numbers chapter 30. So we just finished up with Israel learning to what they have to sacrifice as a nation. And now God tells them another thing that they must do. Very simple to do, but he gives some more regulations to what is done. Just like he did, they needed a sacrifice. Now he gives some more specifics and regulations, and now it's about vows. He's already talked about this, but now he's giving more specific in regulations. And so we see in chapter 30, verse 2, if a man vows a vow to the Lord, that could be as in a promise, a pledge, a sacrifice. If a man says that I'm going to promise this to the Lord, or he swears an oath, he shall not break his word. He's got to keep his promise, right? It's very simple. If a man makes a promise to the Lord, he has to do it. But then, starting in verse 3, we get some specific cases for women. All men have to keep all promises to the Lord. Women have some differences in their vows, and let's check it out. Starting in verse 3, it deals with a single girl, a girl that has not been married yet. Basically, if she makes a vow, her dad hears it and does not object, then she'll keep that vow. But if her father hears the vow that she makes and objects to it, then she does not have to keep that vow. Her father is over her, right? So kind of getting this leadership structure. Then we get to verse 6, and it's talking about a newly married woman. And if she makes a vow and her new husband doesn't object, he stays silent, she'll keep that vow. But if her new husband objects, then she doesn't have to keep that vow. In verse 9, we see that widows and divorced people, if they make a vow, they have to keep it because there is no one over them. There is no man that is over them to object to their vows, so that they must keep it. And then we get to verse 10, which seems kind of like verse 6. Verse 6 was to newly married. Verse 10 is to somebody who's been married for a while. If a woman who's been married for a while makes a vow to the Lord, her husband hears it, does not say anything, she'll keep that vow. But if her husband that she's been married to for a while objects, then she will not keep that vow. And it's the whole point of showing leadership, right? This idea of this, who's the head of the house, right? God is putting this into the picture. We see all the way back in Genesis when we get that man and woman should leave their mother and father and cling to one another. And the man is over the woman is a suitable helper, right? So we see this going all the way back. This is what God puts in for these making vows. So men always have to keep their vows. Women have to keep their vows unless somebody above them, their father or their husband, comes in and says, no, you should not do that because of X, Y, and Z, right? So we're learning a little structure, but the whole point of the chapter is to keep your vows to the Lord no matter what. So I hope that makes a little bit more sense here for chapter 30, and we will see you in chapter 31. God bless.